In recent days, Bangladesh has witnessed an alarming crackdown on students by both police and the army. Shocking scenes have emerged showing police vans driving over students and helicopters landing on university rooftops. Thousands of students have taken to the streets in protest, organizing rallies and marches across the nation. What started as peaceful demonstrations soon escalated into widespread unrest as students blocked roads, highways, and even railway systems. The situation became so critical that the Bangladeshi government deployed not just the police, but also the army to confront the protesting students. While the local media remained largely silent, the internet, social media, and communication platforms like WhatsApp were restricted. Over 2,000 unarmed students have reportedly lost their lives, thousands have been injured, and many have been arrested. This prolonged unrest has resulted in an estimated loss of over $2 billion for Bangladesh. But what led to this crisis? Why is Bangladesh facing such turmoil? The root of these protests dates back to a decision made on June 5, 2024, by the High Court, which reinstated the controversial quota system in Bangladesh civil services. Initially, peaceful protests were held against the decision, but they were temporarily suspended due to the upcoming Eid holidays. However, once Eid ended, students resumed their protests with greater intensity, blocking roads and demanding the abolition of the quota system. The original motive behind the protests was to end the quota system, but as time went on, other grievances were added to the cause. Bangladesh is currently governed by the Awami League party, which has a student wing known as Chhatra League. Members of Chhatra League reportedly attacked protesting students in several areas with the support of the police. This sparked a wave of anger among the students who were initially protesting only against the quota system. In several instances, the army was seen using UN vehicles against the protesters, leading to widespread belief that the United Nations was complicit in the crackdown. When this news reached international media, it severely tarnished the image of the UN, prompting the organization to demand an explanation from Bangladesh. It was later revealed that some vehicles rented to the UN mission were used without removing the logos, further complicating the situation. The protests reached a boiling point on July 14, 2024, when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina made a controversial statement, implying that if jobs weren't reserved for freedom fighters, they would have to be given to rajakaars instead. Her remarks ignited further unrest, and to understand why, we need to delve into the history of freedom fighters and rajakaars. As you might know, before 1971, Bangladesh was part of Pakistan, known as East Pakistan, while today's Pakistan was known as West Pakistan. These two regions were separated not only by geography, but also by significant cultural differences, with language being a major divide. In East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awami League held significant influence, while West Pakistan had various political parties. At that time, Pakistan was under martial law, and General Yahya Khan was responsible for conducting general elections. In the elections, the Awami League won a sweeping victory in East Pakistan, securing 167 out of 169 seats. With a total of 300 seats in the National Assembly, this meant the Awami League could easily form a government. However, the military leadership in West Pakistan was unwilling to allow this, leading to a civil disobedience movement in East Pakistan. On March 7, 1971, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman delivered a speech hinting at secession from Pakistan, and on March 23, the first Bangladeshi flag was hoisted in many homes in East Pakistan. In response, a military operation was launched to prevent East Pakistan from separating. The Liberation War continued for the next 9 months, during which some military units in East Pakistan defected and formed the Mukti Bahini or Freedom Fighters. On the other side, those who supported West Pakistan were known as rajakaars. In the final weeks of the war, India provided support to Bangladesh, leading to the eventual independence of East Pakistan, now known as Bangladesh. Since Bangladesh's independence was achieved with the help of freedom fighters, President Sheikh Mujibur Rahman allocated a 30% quota in civil services for them. However, by 1997, 26 years after the Liberation War, recruitment of freedom fighters in civil services had declined significantly, prompting the government to extend the quota to their children and later to their grandchildren. Despite this, only 10% of freedom fighters' descendants benefited from the quota, leaving much of it unutilized. Meanwhile, the general population, who worked hard to secure jobs on merit, felt increasingly marginalized as only 44% of the total positions were available for merit-based selection. On March 8, 2018, a petition against the quota system was filed in the High Court, but it was dismissed. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina expressed her desire to maintain the quota for freedom fighters' families, sparking widespread protests. Students demanded that either the unfilled quota be merged into the merit-based quota or the quota for freedom fighters be reduced. In response, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina issued an executive order abolishing the quota system altogether. The situation remained calm for a few years until the High Court reinstated the quota system on June 5, 2024, sparking the current wave of protests. As the situation escalated, the Supreme Court of Bangladesh issued an order on July 21, 2024, implementing major changes to the quota system. The merit-based quota was increased from 44% to 93%, while the freedom fighters quota was reduced from 30% to 5%. Additionally, 1% of the quota was allocated to minorities and another 1% to marginalized groups. Following this decision, students agreed to end their protests on the condition that their arrested peers be released and government officials from the areas where students were harmed resign. At the time of making this video, the students' demands have not yet been fully met, although the government claims the situation is largely under control. Mobile services, the internet, and social media platforms are being restored. What are your thoughts on this whole scenario? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and share this video if you found it informative. We'll see you in the next video with more updates.